isn't real. You heard me. Somebody's got to tell you Santa isn't real. Why don't I get my fucking link out? That'd probably be a good idea, huh? Copy link address. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Everything's all ready. Tomorrow's the big day. You want me to take back that Santa isn't real? I would have had my Christmas presents for my my family all lined up on my bed, but I've already wrapped them and put them under the tree, and I don't want to take them back in here and then put them back later. Doesn't seem like a good idea. Doesn't feel right. I mean, this isn't like a very big topic, but this will be a fun stream. I've got a couple things I want to do for you. I'm not really hard on either side of the Santa thing, but it's should we tell our kids lies? And then some people go completely full team, I'm never going to lie to my kids ever. And then some people are like, well, you know, it's not just for the kids, it's for me. And then some people are like, well, you're taking something away from them by putting the cold, hard truth of the world on them at all times. And I have a more nuanced take, but I want to get to that in a bit. One thing I want to do is I want to show you guys something. I want to show you guys something that's a lie that's been given to you from me for this whole time. Every time you see my stream, there's a lie. You know how my bed, you see how like it's bumpy and it looks like there's a dead body under my blankets? It's not actually a dead body. I'm going to unplug my headphones and there's going to be a beep. Ready? That was me. Okay. Look at this. Look at it. Every time that I stream, thank you. Every time that I fucking stream, I got all my clean clothes piled up. And I just hide them underneath my blankets. They're all close to this side, and on the other side, there's no clean clothes. And I sleep on that side next to my clean clothes. Well, sometimes I fold them, sometimes I hang them, put them away, and sometimes it's like that. And now you know. Because I'd never lie to you. I would never tell you something. I would never let you live in a fantasy world. Or would I? I hit my fucking... I don't know if this is going to be a very long stream. I got, for my dad, I got a really nice flashlight. What else did I get him? Got him something else. I got him a mug and a flashlight. And he needs a flashlight because he's got all these shitty dinky ones that are broken around all the place. So I got him a really, like, way over the top one. For my mom, I got her some pottery sculpting tools. I got her a like a roller thing you can put on pots, and then I got her like a big giant ceramic pot because she likes planting plants. She likes gardening herbs, so I got her a big pot, big one. My grandma, I got another mug. It's like a hand warming mug. She's the one. This is the grandma that just had a heart attack. She's got a heart stint. I got her some Cafix, which is caffeine-free coffee substitute that's really tasted it I like, and she tried it before and she liked it, so I got her a bunch with a mug. It's like a hand warming mug. And I also got her a mouse pad with artwork that I made on it. Well, I was going to give that to my dad, but I decided last minute I was going to change it, give it to my grandma. Yeah, and I think that's all. Behind me, underneath this, is a guitar amplifier that's my mom's gift from my dad that I'm hiding. This isn't going to be a long stream unless I figure out something. But yeah, I want to let you guys know. I want to let you guys know that I'm going to let you know what happens if I get you a flashlight and it don't shine. Yeah, I know sometimes things may not always make sense to you right now. But hey, what Daddy always tell you, straighten up, little soldier. Stiffen up that upper lip. What you crying about? You got me. Kelly, I know you miss your mom, and I know you miss your dad when I'm gone, but I'm trying to give you the life that I never had. I can see it when you're sad, even when you smile, even when you laugh. I can see it in your eyes. Deep inside you wanna cry, cause you're scared. I ain't there, Daddy's with you in your prayers. No more crying, wipe them tears. Daddy's here, no more nightmares. We gon' pull together through it, we gon' do it. Laney goes crazy, anybody loves you, girl, and you better know it. We're all we got in this world, when it spins, when it swirls, when it twirls, when it whirls. Two little beautiful girls looking puzzled in the days. I know it's confusing you. Daddy's always on the move, mommy's always on the news. I tried to keep you sheltered from it, but somehow it seems the harder that I tried to do that, the more it backfires on me. All the things that growing up that daddy had to see, but daddy don't want you to see, but you see much as he did. We did not plan to be this way, your mother and me, but things have got so bad between us. I don't see us ever being together ever again like we used to be when we was teenagers. But of course then everything always happens for a reason. Then I guess it never meant to be, but it's just something we have no control over, and that's what destiny is. But no more worries, rest your head and go to sleep. Maybe one day we'll wake up and this'll all just be a dream. Now hush, little baby, don't you cry, everything's gonna be alright. Stiffen up, little lip, little lady, I told ya, Daddy's here to hold ya through the night. I know mommy's not here right now, and we don't know why. We fear how we feel inside. May seem a little crazy, pretty baby, but I promise mama's gonna be alright. It's funny, I remember back when daddy had no money. Mommy wrapped the Christmas presents up and stuck them under the tree and said some of them were from me, cause daddy couldn't buy them. I never forget that Christmas I sat up the whole night crying, cause daddy felt like a bum. See, daddy had a job, his job was to keep the food on the table for you and mom. And at the time, every house that we lived in either kept getting broken into or robbed or shot up on the block. And your mom was saving money for you in a jar, trying to start a piggy bank for you so you could go to college. Almost had $1,000 till someone broke in and stole it. And I know it hurt so bad it broke your mama's heart, and everything was starting to fall apart. Mom and dad was arguing a lot, so mama moved back to the Chalmers in the flat 1-bedroom apartment, and dad moved back to the other side at 8 Nile in Navarra. That's when daddy went to California with a CD and met Dr. Dre and flew you and mama out to see me. But daddy had to work, you and mommy had to leave me. That's when you started seeing daddy on the TV, and mommy didn't like it, and you and Lainey were too young to understand it. Papa was a Rolling Stone, mama developed a habit, but it all happened too fast for either one of us to grab it. I'm just sorry you were there and had to witness it firsthand, cause all I ever wanted to do was just make you proud. Now I'm sitting in this empty house, just reminiscing, looking at your baby pictures. It just trips me out to see how much you both are grown. It's almost like your sister sound. Wow, guess you pretty much are. Daddy's still here. Lainey, I'm talking to you too. Daddy's still here. Like the sound of that, yeah, it's got a ring to it, don't it? Shh, daddy's only gone for the moment. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Everything's gonna be alright. Stiffen that upper lip, little baby. I told ya, daddy's here to hold ya through the night. I know mommy's not here right now, and we don't know why. We fear how we feel inside. We seem a little crazy, pretty baby, but I promise mama's gonna be alright. And if I asked you to mommy's daddy's gonna buy you a mockingbird, I'm gonna give you the world. I'll buy a diamond ring for you, I'ma sing for you, I'll do anything for you to see you smile. And if that mockingbird don't sing and that ring don't shine, I'ma break that birdie's neck. I'll go back to the jeweler who sold it to you and make you meet every carat. Don't fuck with dad. Haha. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I have been a little bit depressed lately, but I'm not depressed tonight. But I've been in a lull. I wanted to stream a couple times and I didn't. I don't know what it is. It's like a mixture of a lot of different things. Part of it is... it's a weird anxiety. I don't know. It's new. It's fucked up. But... it's stupid. No, it's not. Don't talk about yourself like that, Seth. You're right, Seth. You know, creativity and psychosis are extremely similar. It's very hard to make a formal distinction between the two. You're welcome. Merry Christmas to you, Shadow Boxer. Merry Christmas. So is it good to lie to your kids that Santa is real? So I go back and forth on this. Like when I was a teenager, I was absolutely hands down, I'm never going to lie to my kids. And I'm still probably closer to that side than the other side. But I have heard some compelling arguments for why you should lie to your kids. And then I think about the developmental stages and what it would mean and when would be the appropriate time to give them that fantasy and when would it be inappropriate. Because fantasy is an important coping mechanism that we need for our life. And if you deprive them of that throughout their whole childhood, you're taking away something important, an important function. You're undermining it. You're almost taking away their autonomy to fantasize. So I think you shouldn't ruin every fantasy that they have, but maybe you shouldn't also lie to them. And it also is majorly impacted of how old they are. from ages 2 to 4 are those are the most important years. That's if you're gonna get really fucked up, it's gonna be in those years. That's when you are starting to differentiate yourself from your mother and father. And it's interesting because you don't learn to this is just a side point, but something I think is very interesting. It seems obvious to me. It's interesting that I've learned how to communicate this. You don't learn how to love until much later. When you're an infant, you don't love your mother so much. You literally don't see a difference between yourself and your mother. You're literally the same entity. You don't see any difference. When she does something to you, that is just your world. It's just what you are doing, what is happening. There's no separation. Then you start developing, and you start to develop a separation as you get a little bit smarter, and you start trying to figure out who you are. And it's important for you to differentiate from your mother. And that is a very frustrating process. It makes you very angry. So that's why it's called the terrible twos. You get pissed off at your mom, and you need to feel like you have autonomy. And, when you're hungry and she doesn't feed you immediately, there's a moment where all your needs are not perfect. You're realizing she's not an accessory to you. She's not she's not like a limb that you can control with your mind that goes out and gets food and brings it to you and sings to you and calms you and assures you and protects you and teaches you. None of that's on command. She's actually a separate person, and you learn that, which is important, and that's frustrating, and you hate her. So you have to learn to love others. So you have to learn that other people are separate from you, which is very important. Learning that you are your own person, you have your own locus of internal control, you have your own safety within yourself. That is very important. If that gets undermined, it's bad for you, for your whole life. It's very hard to deal with that as you get older. After you learn that you are separate from other people, then you can learn how to love others by learning to love people who are now understood by you as separate. And that's actually something that's kind of inappropriate to put on a very small child like that, because it puts them in a parentified role. It's a very mature thing to love others. We only get like good at it until like mid-20s, or some people never. Someone says, never stop believing, ignore Grinches. I don't believe in God. I don't remember ever believing in Santa, not once. I remember placating my parents and pretending that I believed in Santa, pretending that I loved them. Pretending I believe in Santa, pretending that I love them. I had to learn to love my parents. Loving is different from depending and trusting. A reptile, you can develop a very close bond with a reptile, with a snake. You teach it that when you put your hand here, you're not a threat. You are something that you can be trusted. It's okay. And you are helpful and a beneficial part of its life. But a reptile doesn't worry about you when you aren't there. A human does. A child will worry about you when you're not there, but because it's a child needs you and depends on you and knows it. But if you didn't depend on somebody and they're totally separate, then worrying about that person, giving to that person, helping them, providing for them, that's something you have to learn to do. That takes a lot more time. And that's why some people shouldn't be parents. Anyway, if you tell your kid that Santa isn't real and you lie to them, you never lie to them. If you never lie to your kid, and every time that they come up with something that's not real and you crush it, they're going to have a bad relationship with fantasy. Depending on how you do it, you could even like make them have some kind of fucked up complex where they hate fantasy. Like they'll hate maybe creativity at all. Maybe it could be good for them in some ways, but in other ways very bad. It would have I go back and forth. It would have very strong implications. This question of telling your kids whether Santa is real or not has massive implications that are going to last them for the rest of their life. Yeah. A lot happens when you're 2 to 4. So yeah, I think that I don't know. I feel like I don't want to tell my kids that Santa is real at all. I don't want to tell them that God is real. I don't want to tell them that Santa is real. But I also don't want to crush their relationship to fantasy. There has to be a way to raise a kid, which is a way that we don't see modeled. We don't see a lot of parenting modeled well, and we don't critique people's parenting. We're just like, whatever you do is right. Unless you do this. If you hit your kid, well, I mean, like 20, 30 years ago, that was fine, but now it's not. But like, other than that, we don't have any really, we want to avoid talking about it because we don't want to piss anybody off. I want criticism if I'm a parent, and you can disagree. We've become so conflict avoidant. Like, you shouldn't parent someone's kid for them the way that they don't want, but you should talk to them, and it should be like, well, thank you. You should want input. I have not seen modeled very well how to have a healthy relationship with your kid where you teach them how to have a healthy fantasy life without like, how do you teach them to not believe in that fantasy? Like, that's the dilemma I brought up earlier, because creativity and psychosis are very similar. And that's the line, I think. The line between creativity and psychosis is that line of belief. Once you can look down into the abyss of creativity, that if you fall in, now it owns you. but we need it. Originally, I was going to rap Big Weenie by Eminem, but it's such a stupid, fucking retarded song, and I realized I need to do a lot more practice on that one because it's gonna very much rely on delivery. Let's see in chat. God is a natural conclusion of the concepts eternal and infinite. It's not necessarily a religious God, but it's something that can't be explained by physics. I don't think that there's some eternal thing that can't be explained. I do believe, I feel like I can understand the concept of infinity just fine. I mean, I was just talking about it. The analogy of looking over the edge without falling over is a reference to an analogy that people use about infinity. Once you see it, I don't necessarily even agree with this, but it's that once you see it, you go over the edge. And maybe that's what maybe you're in psychosis. You're the one, I'm the one here being creative, and you're the one who's fallen victim to psychosis. You've looked over the edge of infinity and you've fallen in, and you live in infinity. You believe in it. You believe in this eternal infinity. Someone says, I think fantasy in which you can't believe makes it less enjoyable. Yeah. Also, it's also important to be able to actually believe in fantasy. That psychosis that I'm talking about isn't like, we cannot be constantly aware of every horrible thing and every horrible reality and every horrible truth. Constantly thinking about the fact that we're going to die, and constantly, you don't want to become Monk, from the TV show where the autistic detective is constantly terrified of everything, constantly afraid of germs, constantly crippled and paralyzed with anxiety. You have to live in a fantasy to exist. But there is a healthy relationship to fantasy, and it's a very fine line. So how do you teach your kids to have that healthy relationship? Can you? Can you have any influence on that? I'm sure. Is it really something that is related to the formative years, or is it later? I remember watching Ghost Hunters with my parents. I loved it, with my mom in particular. I loved it. And it was like a game to try to believe in the ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts, and I tried to believe in them then, but I didn't really. But I really wanted to, and it was fun when I could feel like I believed in it. When they're like, oh, look at this shadow, the way it moves on the camera, and be like, whoa, that's a ghost. Holy shit, man, there's ghosts. Dude, I'm going to go tell everybody that ghosts are real now, because I know the truth. I feel like those guys are just walking around with those camcorders, like, trying to psych themselves out, trying to jump into off that edge into infinity, trying to really feel it. They want to feel something bigger than and less scary than reality that we live in. Hold on a second. There we go, baby. Turn it down a little bit. I've been thinking about myself in my, I don't know how loud that is for you guys. I'm gonna do that. I'm thinking about how I'm an only child. Someone in chat says some of their best memories was their dad taking them gnome hunting. That does sound fun. As a thing to do with as a child. It does sound fun. I agree and I believe in you. But do you believe in gnomes? It's a little too loud. Do you believe in gnomes now? After your dad took you gnome hunting? I doubt it. So that sounds like a good playing pretend with your kid, right? Tea party. Maybe it's not so complicated. I'm an only child. I think it's fucked me up. But there's not a lot of definitive stuff on this. You believe that gnomes are real in your memories. Yeah. Yeah. In your memories. Gnomes are real in your memories. Anyway, I don't know how to what to do. I don't know how to. I know if I figure out how exactly being an only child. It's just maybe I'm hoping for a miracle. I need to learn a framework. I need to listen to and learn and read about people's pathologizing of only children. Pick them apart. Figure out what applies. An only child is not a specific personality, though. It's a situation, and how that affects people is different. It depends what kind of parents you have. So an only child with a specific family system is different. Specific type of parents, it's much more complicated. Christmas as an only child has been interesting. It's good. Christmas is good when you're an only child. When you're an only child, you get all the presents. Parents of only children tend to be very protective and sheltering of their kids. All of the attention of the parents goes to the kid, which can be good or bad. And in that sense, I think it was probably good in some ways, but in a lot of ways it was very bad. A lot of only children become parentified. Merry Christmas, motherfucker. Someone earlier asked if I'm in the Mr. Girl cult. Are you a Mr. Girl cult member? Asks Mikey. Mr. Girl is an introject in my mind. When you hear me talk, sometimes it might sound like Mr. Girl because I've listened to him a lot. In a lot of Mr. Girl videos, you can hear Mike Staclaza talking. In a lot of political streamers, you hear them talk and you hear Destiny. We all have a lot of introjects. Those are the voices in our head. There's not just one voice. We have a lot of different voices. We got one voice that's a very cruel critic. That's basically the voice of death. Is telling you never good enough. Abusive people will try to make that voice louder for you, telling you you're not good enough. Nothing you do is worth it. You're an imposter. There is no way out. Like all this. Basically every thought loop that leads to you ending yourself. I have a lot of introjects and different people that I've met in my life. And I have all those voices in my head. We have a voice in our head that's the collection of all the different wisdom that we've heard that we think is useful. And we pile it all together, and that's one of the voices. We call on that voice when we need guidance. So if you ever look up to anybody, they become part of your mind. If you've watched my stream enough times, you might have a Smeth introject. Which is really interesting from my perspective. Because I don't have a Smeth introject. I have a collection of other introjects from all over different places. And then they compile them together and then make a voice. And then that voice gets absorbed by other people. What introjects do you have? Can you identify them? I definitely have a Destiny introject. Am I a Destiny cultist? I've got this narcissist at work, and I hate her. Coworker. She's so unbearable, and everybody placates her. This is what happens every time. And I'm too emotional. Like, she really, really pisses me off. She constantly needs supply from everybody. She's really good with engaging with customers because she needs to, but she doesn't engage with them in a way that's like healthy for them. She makes it about herself. And so she'll start engaging with this pleasant voice and everything, and then she'll tell them about something about her life or she'll posture herself as being more knowledgeable or more or being superior to them about whatever it is that they care about, and then or she will tell them about, oh well, you have that. She'll one up anything. It's very impulsive. She's not smart, but she's just impulsively self-fixated and constantly needs. It's like unbearable. And she wants that engagement from me, and I don't give it to her. And it makes her try harder, and it really, really pisses me off. Like, I'm trying to set boundaries, and it makes her go harder. She wants to destroy my boundaries because the fact that I have boundaries makes her feel insecure. It makes her feel small. It's almost an insult that I would have a boundary against her, because a narcissist, it doesn't, like I was talking about stages of development, a narcissist doesn't understand the difference between me and you and me and them and you. If I have a boundary with them, that is immediately internalized, and that's why a narcissist needs to control everybody around them, because everybody around them exists within themselves. There's no separation. Their mom failed to let them grow into a separate person. They feel like they were forced to stay one with their mom. Yeah, they don't have that healthy relationship with themselves. So they live in a fantasy world, a dissociative state. Narcissism is considered now a dissociative condition. How old was I when I realized Hunter S. Thompson is the adult version of Winnie the Pooh? Merry Christmas. Unorthodox vasectomy. Who the fuck is Hunter S. Thompson? I don't know. That name sounds familiar. A. Millen and Hunter S. Thompson. Hunter S. Thompson is a name. Yeah, Siri Knox. That's why Siri Knox. Siri, that's why when I've talked about narcissism, and then a couple of times you're like, wait, you're talking about me? Is that me? The reason that you have that connection, it's not because you're a narcissist. You're definitely not a narcissist. You have a dissociative condition, but there's a lot of ways that can happen. I don't think that I really, really don't think that the way that manifests for you is narcissism. Very much not. But it is similar in some ways, because it is as dissociative, because you're separated from your own thoughts. So you, Siri, you have different alters, right? A narcissist doesn't have that. They have they create perfect there's different ways to pathologize it. This is the way that I think is ideal. They create, and I think it's the most accepted, they create idealized introjects of everybody around them, because that is what your mom is. Your mom is an idealistic, like when you're very, very young. She's the perfect, she's a caregiver. She's part of you. She's not separate from you, and she does everything for you and helps you grow, and is very nurturing and everything. And a narcissist failed to differentiate from their mom, and they have this relationship with everybody where they see them as an idealized, they create a Photoshop, they make a perfect version of you. That they put that in their head. And when you fail to live up to that, they lash out at you, just like they wish that they could have done with their mom. And that trying to destroy you because you're failing to be this perfect person that they thought that you were, but you never lived up to, makes them feel like it makes them feel like they have an ego, because they have a very small, frail, barely existent, hidden, suffocated ego. They don't have a connection to who they are and who their self is. So they create these perfect versions of everyone else. and nobody's perfect. And that's what makes a narcissist abusive. The lashing out, you don't understand the lashing out. It's because, so they need you to be that perfect mother. And when your mother fails you, that's what the ages 2 to 4, 5, that's where those years are so important, because you learn to lash out at your mom. Really, you learn to be pissed at her and hate her a little bit and see yourself as separate because of all the ways she fails you. She doesn't feed you perfectly every time you're hungry. She doesn't give you the perfect food you want. She doesn't always take care of you in the perfect way. She does her best, but you still have to learn that you are separate from her and you have your own internal locus of control. You don't have to totally rely on her for everything, for every emotional need. You have yourself too. And a narcissist doesn't have that self because the mom didn't let them. The mom forced them. It's like in the show Arrested Development, there's like a character that's like a mama's boy, and like she like makes, he's like an adult and she makes him wear like a sailor outfit, and he's like, yes mom, yes mom. I don't know what that is pathologically, but that is like a caricature of what these moms are doing to the little kid. They are suffocating the little kid and not letting them become independent thinking in a way. Is the Easter Bunny real? Good question. I'll have to do a stream then on Easter and figure it out. You understand the ideal versions of people part? You think you do the same? There's a lot of different, like that one thing doesn't make you a narcissist. Who am I? Who the fuck are you, Scott? Don't you come into my fucking chat asking who I am. Motherfucker, I'm real Smeth. Welcome to the Smeth Den. Bitch. Scott123. I like that name. 123. Yeah, I don't exist. I'm your altar. A narcissist doesn't know that they have introjects. The introjects are them. They don't see a separation or anything like that. They are so affected by all the people around them. That's why they're so impulsive. That's what separates them from a psychopath who is controlled. The psychopath abuses you and manipulates you on purpose. A narcissist does it impulsively because they have to, because you're part of them. So they have to manipulate you. They have to lash out at you. They have to hurt you because they don't see a separation. They don't know how to, like, if a narcissist is being kind and taking care of you, it's because they're taking care of themselves in a way that is more than, like, way more than usual. Because you are, like, literally a part of their mind when you are in their life. It's important. They find it's important to have intimate partners, and like they need that. That's called narcissistic supply, and they need that. They can be alone for a long period of time, and when they do that, they go into a state where they have to have self-supply, and that's different. If they're doing self-supply, then they're relying on these old introjects, and so they're talking to themselves like that, and they can become really lost in the sauce when that happens, because they're just living in a total fantasy world. Why am I not spending time with my family? Why aren't you spending time with your family? Huh? I've spent time with my family. What do you think? I stream too much? I've had some like performance anxiety as part of it. I want my streams to be good. I really want my streams to be good. And when I watch back some of my streams, I'm like, oh, that was good. And I feel like, wow, I need to make the next one good. And yeah, part of it is me psyching myself out. Part of it is it's like probably a little bit of depression or something. But I'm figuring it out. I want to do some more streams. I'm working on a couple streams right now. I didn't stream too much last week, but I'm going to be doing a lot more streams. I don't have performance anxiety in the moment. And this is like a new development for me. But when I go to start streaming and then I press, when I have my mouse over that start stream button, then I'm like, am I actually ready? Like, I could prepare more. But it's just, I think it also has to do with the nature of streaming, and what a stream is. Because like if I'm making a video, if I'm editing a video, you can always work more on any artistic project. That's why fucking Mr. Girl spent 6 months making that music video. And theoretically, you could spend forever planning a stream. So, and I just want it to be good. And especially if I want to do more solo streams. Solo streams, I feel like I want to prepare even more. It's not dread. It's not dread. IRL streams are good. That's because, well, you guys want to see genuine interactions. So many streamers is so fake. And if you like my stream, it's probably because I'm trying to be present. I guess. IRL streams are really, there will be gems in it, but it's also boring too. I mean, but it's fun to do. I could do more IRL streams. I should make more videos. I just kind of started making one. Build in segments to an IRL stream. I could do that, I guess, yeah. Well, yeah, I can do that. Yeah. IRL streaming. I need to travel more. I don't want to just IRL stream in my neighborhood and shit. So that's the other thing. So I mean, I am IRL right now. I am in real life right now. I'm gonna finish this class and then I'm gonna end my stream probably. Merry Christmas. It's been an interesting year. Leah has been getting in my head. She's become part of my death interject. She's been getting in my head trying to tell me that I'm pathetic because I don't make a lot of money. I've figured out what makes me happy. I found an outlet. If I start making money, I'm just going to spend it on my creative projects. And there's no place to go but up. Unless I fall into the same mistakes as Mr. Girl and get banned off of everything. Don't do this to me, Smeth. What? What do you need, bitch? I'll do whatever I want. This is my stream. What am I doing to you? What effect am I having on you? Your whole life? You believed in what? Fucking Santa? Are you fucking kidding me? That's what it's just like ghosts. Nobody actually believes in Santa. Nobody actually believes in ghosts. It's fun to try to believe in ghosts. And nobody fucking believes in Santa. I definitely did not believe in Santa. Ever. I don't remember ever believing in him. I remember hearing the thing about the bells. You know, like the magical silver bells from his sleigh. That you can only hear if you believe in him. And I think we were given, in school, I was given a bell without a ball in it. So the bell made no sound. And so I was like, oh, so this will ring if I just try to believe in him. And I was like, it doesn't ring. It never rang. I never could hear Santa's bell. Because I never believed it. No, I'm not drunk. I'm just cool. Take that one to the bank. This is Diet Coke. Alright, bitch. Have a great night. Do whatever you have to do. Get up in the morning. Celebrate Christmas. Don't celebrate Christmas. On the 26th, you can fucking celebrate Kwanzaa for all I care. You can celebrate Hanukkah. You can Smeth. You can celebrate my balls. Good night, Smeth heads. Merry Christmas. What's up, Jeanette? I'm ending my stream. Nice to meet you.